thinking, oh, first week I didn't make anything. It's okay, I still have time. The illusion of you still having time can be so detrimental to your business. So you realize that if you've got the plan for the month and you split it into the week, you basically are curating your to-do list in advance. So what does this mean? It means that one of the things that I fully believe in is that your pipeline is going to be the oxygen for your business, okay? Well, if you don't have a pipeline, you have no payday. If you are somebody who is communicating and have a customer journey that allows people to know when to buy from you and how to buy from you, those will not be things you worry about. Yes, the more clients, the better, much easier. However, if we can do the more clients, the better, and also upselling the people that we have already, hello, Resonate community, and welcome to the best and the biggest sales and entrepreneurship podcast in the whole wide world. Here is a struggle we all know, okay, for business owners. When you start the month, you're so positive, you're ready to go, and then towards the end of the month, you're wondering, what did I do all month? How am I going to pay the rent? How am I going to pay salaries? What's going to happen? And there's no money in the bank. This is a struggle that is not foreign at all to every small business owner, and sometimes to an extent, a lot of big businesses. And today we're going to be chatting about the blueprint that you need for your business to make sure that you don't go through the month-end blues where you are so frustrated because things are not coming together. And the honest truth is that this thing starts with the beginning of the month. So hello, September. So as we're stepping into this month, today I want us to be sharing about this blueprint that's going to help you make sure that you make your money at the end of the month. So it's basically going to be a 5-step blueprint that's going to ensure that when the month ends, you have money in the bank and you're able to cover what you need to cover as far as your expenses are concerned, and you actually have profit as well. If you can identify with this issue, let me know in the comment section. I'd be so interested to hear, because I've been through so many times where I'm just like stressing towards the end of the month and just not knowing what's going to happen. But I think this 5-step formula is going to set us up for success. So let's start with step number 1. Step number 1 is plan your month. This is so crucial. Don't walk into a new month without a plan. So it is the beginning of September, and you will be watching this video on a Monday or listening to this on a Monday morning. I hope you are. Monday, 6 p.m., okay, Monday evening, by the way. And the big question I want you to ask yourself is, do you have a plan for the month for your business? Okay, what are your efforts going to, yourself and your team? What is happening today? This is very important, because if you don't walk into a new month with a plan, you're just going to do what you've always been doing, and essentially you will get the same results you've always been getting. So it's very important that you walk in with a plan. I really truly believe that success comes with a plan and clarity. When you have a plan and the plan is clear, you actually are able to execute it in a much better way that's going to help you know what it is that you're doing and how you're going to get there. So that's very important. And the plan is basically a few things. The first one is, what do I have on the table and what am I doing this month? So what is the current business? Are you walking into the new month with a zero balance, with a minus, or with a plus something? You need to actually take audit of what it is that you are doing every single month based on what happened last month and as you're stepping in. So number 1, what are you walking into the month with? Is it a certain amount of money? Is it a certain amount of clients? Is it a client's worth of a certain amount? What is it that you're walking in the month with? This is going to be very important. So what are you walking into the month with? Okay. Number 2, what is it that you want to achieve this month? We spoke a little bit briefly in the previous videos about being able to set revenue targets. What's the number? What's the number that we want to accomplish in September? Very, very important. What's the number, which is the second one? Then the third one is, how am I going to get to that number? And then you start mapping out the efforts, but you need to have some sort of an overarching 3-step plan of what it is that we are doing this month and how we are going to get there. So that's very, very important. Plan your month. I would even go as far as, if you are looking at the things that you're doing every single month, have almost like a to-do list for the month. It's not a daily to-do list. It's just a monthly to-do. Just say, in the month of September, these are the 4 most important things that I want to achieve to be able to meet my revenue targets or my personal goals or whatever the case is. But this is very important. And you must also think about it as like a GPS for your business, right? Every single time you're using the GPS to go somewhere, you have to key in the destination and then allow the GPS to lead you to it. So if you try to like outdo the GPS, you're going to be a little bit more frustrated, because it is usually right most of the time, unless you're traveling at like very illegal speed. But it usually is right all the time. So think about starting a new month and keying in the destination in your GPS. Where do you want to go? That's how you start with a plan. And then every single day is aligned to getting to that a specific place. So that's very important. Plan your month. This is crucial. And if you are in our membership club, I will be sharing with you guys a sales GPS that you can download for the rest of the month that you're going to be using weekly. So if you're not part of it, please do join. We still have some spots open. The link is down below in the description. So join our membership. Click on the link and you get more information around what it is that we do and how you can benefit from being a member at the Resonate Plus Hub membership club. Point number 2, which is the second strategy of the blueprint that you're going to do, is you're going to split your targets into action steps on a weekly basis. So remember we said plan your week, and by planning your week, you probably have a number. So for example, you probably are saying this week, I want to make 100,000. This month, I want to make 100,000 the month of September. What I want you to do is I want you to split that 100,000 into 4 weeks, right? An average, a month has 4 weeks. Some will have 4.5, 5, whatever the case is. But 4 is usually a great standard to work by. And if it's 4.5 or 5, bonus, you make extra money. But split that 100,000 into 4. So this means that on a weekly basis, what you're saying is I should have at least made 35,000 every single week to be able to meet my target. Do you know why this is important? It goes beyond just planning the month, but it goes beyond putting together action steps every single day of the week that aligns. So if you know that 35,000 needs to be made by Friday or by Sunday, when we are looking forward to the following week, the big question then you must ask yourself and your team is, what are you guys going to be doing from Monday to Monday to ensure that 35,000 is actually met? This is so crucial to every single business. Are we calling clients on Monday? Tuesday, are we following up? Wednesday, are we following up? Thursday, are we asking for referrals? Friday, are we going out there to sell more? What are we doing every single day to make sure that we get to that amount? The reason why this is also very important, and this works for a lot of businesses, is that if you just leave the number to the month, you might be relaxing the entire month thinking, first week I didn't make anything. It's okay, I still have time. The illusion of you still having time can be so detrimental to your business. Second week, you think, okay, I've gotten 1 or 2 sales, I still have time. Whereas if the picture is 100,000 and by second week you've only made 10,000, you're in trouble. We need to do a little bit more things. We need to move, and we need to start aligning ourselves to make sure that we make that number. And that's what happens for a lot of business owners. And then month end comes because there's no plan, or they just had the figure but no action plan every single day to week. Month end comes and you realize you've just only made 20,000 because you did not have a plan, and you wanted to make 100,000, but that was not possible because you thought you kept yourself so busy because you thought you still had time. And before you know it, as it reaches the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd, the anxiety starts creeping in because now you're asking yourself, what am I going to do? What's going to happen? And I do not want you to be that kind of business owner. Okay. Part of what we also do in our membership club is making sure that we have weekly masterclasses that are able to equip you to be able to reflect and look back at your sales and look back at your business to make sure that you actually are getting the right tools, the right clients, and the right resources to take you to the next level. So very, very important. If you're going to split these targets, a couple of questions to ask yourself is, how many calls do you need to make this number? Okay. How many posts do you need to put out on social media to make sure that this number happens on a weekly basis? Okay. How many proposals do you need to send out? Because sometimes we think 100,000 Rand, I'm going to send a few proposals. How much are a few? And if it's 4 proposals this month, how many proposals a week? What is it going to take for you to prepare? So you realize that if you've got the plan for the month and you split it into the week, you basically are curating your to-do list in advance. So what does this mean? It means that people are not going to be wasting your time every single week or every single day because you don't have a plan. And this is what happens a lot, especially for entrepreneurs where you're self-employed. So you can easily go pick up people at the airport. You can easily run around and do family errands, but you cannot do that when you have a plan. And nothing against being there for your family, but sometimes you have to prioritize the things that you want to do, because you will be frustrated at everyone at the end of the month when they're still expecting you to make some form of contribution to assist them, and you are still expecting yourself to cover certain costs. But you spent most of your month running around. You spent most of your month taking care of this and that and this and that, and not actually investing in making sure that your business goes to the next level and you meet those revenue targets so you can take care of these things. So the other thing that also kind of helped me break free to that point, and I digress a little, is realizing that it is very important for me to do what I need to do right now for this business to get to the next level, because if it does get to the next level, I'd be able to help the people in my lives, that I'd be able to contribute in a more meaningful way, because then the business would have grown. But if you're constantly caught up between major contributions and not showing up for yourself and your business, you will be very frustrated as time goes, and you might end up being one of those people that are trying to cut people off because everybody's wasting your time. No, you just need to create necessary boundaries that are going to make sure that your business runs and that are going to make sure that everything that you are wanting to do is aligned with the goal that you want to meet at the end of the month. So this is very important, and make sure that if you're going to be splitting this target, it feels achievable. Okay, you're not going to be climbing a whole mountain, but you're just taking one step at a time. And if the mountain is 100,000 or 50,000, whatever it may be for you, make sure that every single day leading up to the end of every week, you've climbed at some point. You are somewhere. You can count and calculate. It becomes very, very important for you to do this so you can make that revenue that you want to make. Point number 3, which is part of the strategy to this blueprint that is going to help you not suffer from anxiety and depression and shock and sadness at the end of the month because you did not make money, is build your pipeline and align with your team. This is so important. One of the things that I fully believe in is that your pipeline is going to be the oxygen for your business, okay? If you don't have a pipeline, you have no payday. If there isn't any pipeline of where the money is going to be coming from, there isn't payday because there isn't money because no money came from anywhere, or we did make a little money, but it just came from everywhere by luck. So this is very, very important. Spend time every single week generating leads for your business to curate a pipeline. So remember in the beginning, we said you plan, right, for your month. So when you plan for your month, what pipeline currently exists as you are walking into the month? Sometimes there isn't a pipeline. Sometimes there is a bit of a pipeline. Sometimes you've got a great pipeline. And a pipeline essentially is the people that are waiting in line to essentially either purchase with you, or you've sent them quotes and they haven't gotten back to you, or potentially new business that you've been looking at getting into. Very, very, very crucial for your business. And you do not do this alone. You have to align with your team if you're somebody that has a team. So what does the pipeline, how are we going to generate a pipeline from a social media perspective? Are we going to get people to sign up to a newsletter? Are we going to get people to sign up for a webinar? What are we going to do so we can start having people coming into our funnel and basically start generating leads so we can convert them into actual sales? Very, very important. There are so many things you can do. There's referrals, there's DMing strategy, there's creating content that is a call to action that is aligned with people's needs. You can also give like a freemium, which is, for instance, booklets or whatever it is that you want to give people to be able to come into your business and be part of the pipeline. But you must build a pipeline and you must have everything around you aligning with pipeline. Your pipeline cannot just be, hey, this is what I sell and buy it. It can't be. Give people a chance to experience you in small little forms. So what does that look like? Is there a free masterclass you might be hosting this month? Is there a free webinar? Is there like a sample that you'll be sending out to some of your clients? Is there like a gifting that you're sending out to some of the clients that your most spending clients? But how are you continuously building and growing that pipeline? And also talking about growing the pipeline, it leads us to point number 4, which is also part of the strategy, which is to upsell and excel the goal. So once you have built the pipeline, right, you already have a list of people, you kind of have some form of a plan around who is already buying from you, who wants to buy from you, and who else can you lure into buying from you using your sales, your marketing, and your business communication, social media, newsletters, whatever the case may be. You have to upsell. So if you have clients already that have been buying from you, maybe it's time to get in touch with them, right? It's time to give them a call. It's time to send them an email. Are you going to be giving them some sort of a special? Are you going to be giving them some sort of a calm, inviting them somewhere, sending them a gift? Whatever the case might be for you, it's important that you do this because that's how you also build relationships to continuously have return business and more customers coming back and back and back again. And if somebody, for instance, has gone through your newsletter, they attended the free webinar, and maybe they didn't buy, continuously sell to them, nurture them in a way that continuously sells, because that way they will eventually buy. But if you do not have a pipeline, you can't upsell, because who are you upselling to? You basically cannot want people to commit to a 10,000 product when they haven't experienced 1,000 product or a 2,000 worth product. So it's very important that your pipeline grows people gradually and moves people through a certain journey that psychologically makes them comfortable to start buying from you. So this is very important. And when you start building the pipeline, and let's say the goal is still 10,000, and you say, first week, we've made 20, we didn't make 35, but we made 20. How do we then excel that? How do we make sure that if we made on week 1, 20,000, how do we make sure that on week 2, we're able to make 30 or to the goal 35,000. This is important. I know some people can say, Michelle, a lot of my sales happen at the end of the month, and I might not get sales on week 2, week 3, or on week 2 because people don't have money. Let me tell you, if you are somebody who is communicating and have a customer journey that allows people to know when to buy from you and how to buy from you, those will not be things you worry about. People are always willing to pay for anything. It doesn't matter how broke they are. It doesn't matter how much, but people always pay for priority things. So if you are still selling throughout the month, you might get people to commit. You might get people to, yes, maybe have the 50,000 from the 100,000 be sold within the last 2 weeks, but you must have tested that out to know that this is how things work in your business. I would always recommend that you must always be selling. Very, very important. Always be selling and always be closing. This is going to help you make sure that you're making money in your business in a much easier way. And even when we talk about upselling, it's so much easier to sell to somebody who's already bought from you before. Much easier. If somebody has bought from you like 1,000 products or 1,000 worth products in terms of revenue, it's easier for them to maybe upgrade to 3,000, to 5,000, or to 10,000 versus somebody who's completely new. So you always have to look at upselling a lot more. And upselling basically means how are you taking care of the current people that are buying from you in a way that's going to help them stay even more. This is going to help you because if you don't take care of those people and you're continuously seeking new clients, you're going to find yourself in a rut where all the time you're consistently having to do so much communication and do so much to just make the bare minimum. Because remember, new clients, you are doing a meet and greet. You are luring them with some product. It's a journey for new clients to eventually start buying from you. And even if they do start buying, it's a journey for them to start buying from you things that are worth much more to bring in more revenue in your business. So it becomes important that you learn that upselling might be one of the biggest ways and the biggest tools that you will make money. I even always say to people, if you already have a good client base that is helping you just meet your revenue, yes, work on getting new clients, but I'd say focus on upselling to those people so that they can buy more or an upgraded version or just, or even a bundle pricing something. So if they were buying something that's worth 500, maybe you bundle it this time for it to be 750 so that they can actually buy more and they can spend more from you. This way, you're basically increasing your client lifetime value because if this client was spending 500 with you every single month, they now will be spending 750. And if you continue to upsell them and you continue to work and you continue to almost build a great relationship with them, they will start even spending 1,000 monthly. So if you needed 2 clients to spend 500 because you were doing double the effort, you now just need that same person just to maintain them for them to give you that 1,000. So it's so important when you think about it from an exponential growth perspective. Yes, the more clients, the better, much easier. However, if we can do the more clients, the better, and also upselling the people that we have already in our business and in our pipeline, we stand a chance of actually building a really great business that is making a lot of revenue. The fifth and the last point I'm going to share with you is evaluate and adjust. There's a saying that I live by, and it says what gets measured gets done. It is important that even after you've planned your month, every single week, you reevaluate, okay? Every single week, even if it's on a Friday or on a Sunday evening, sit down and ask yourself, what did we do this week? How far are we? Look at your bank statement. How much money came in? How many sales did we make? How much did we spend this month or this week from a business perspective? Can we still spend more? Do we need to cut down on our spending? Because I'm telling you, if you're able to reevaluate and adjust every single week, it becomes so much easier to have a fruitful and a better month end that is not filled with anxiety, that is not filled with stress, because you have been planning and you've been working through every single thing. So it's important that you adjust your actions for the following week. So if you look at the week 1 and you say, this is what we've done, this is what we're going to be looking at, this is where we are, etc., you then have the liberty to actually move past, okay, because this is what we did this week and this is what worked this week, this is what we're going to focus on next week. This is what we're going to stop doing next week so that we can achieve our goals. This is what we're going to continue doing next week. You can even go as far as looking at your calendar, but invest in looking at the data internally as well. What is happening? What did you do? What didn't happen? What could be done better? What needs to be stopped? Even go granular when you look at your bank statement, when you look at your calendar. What did you spend most of your time on? Did you spend most of your time on the road? Did that yield results? So maybe on week 2, if being on the road didn't yield results, let's not be on the road. Let's do virtual meetings then. Did you spend more than you actually made? Is that sustainable? Is that something we want to carry on to next week? What are we doing? But it's important that you actually start having a meeting with yourself first as the founder and also with the rest of your team so that everybody can actually align themselves to the efforts that you really want to accomplish. So this is very, 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 very important. Think about people who are athletes, right? They don't continuously check the scoreboard, all the time. But every single time they are playing any match, it's really tied to, are we going to win this match? Are we checking the scoreboard? What do we need to evaluate? That's why even in soccer, there's a halftime, because that 15 minutes allows them to go back and say, okay, what are we doing right? What do we need to stop? What needs to happen? How do we move from point A to point B? And how do we actually just navigate ourselves? So with all of that said and shared, remember, start with a plan. It's just the new month, and even if you don't have one, today or tonight becomes an opportunity for you to be able to sit down and reevaluate and take all the steps that I've just shared with you and start applying them in your business. But give yourself time to think about what you're going to be putting your efforts and your energy towards and your prayer towards this week, so that you can align all your efforts and you can achieve the results that you want. Do not be shocked at the end of the month. Do not walk into the month without a new plan for yourself, for your personal goals, your life, and your business as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoyed this podcast episode. Let me know in the comments section which point resonated with you the most and which one are you excited to also try. If you have not joined our membership club yet, hurry and do so. We close entries on the 4th of September 2025 for this month. It is a monthly subscription that you come onto, and we cannot wait to have you. It is only $20 and you get access to so many things, our global community, masterclasses, thought leadership as well, and a lot of other interesting things that you will see in the link below. So go ahead and click it, and we'll see you on our next podcast episode. Goodbye.